The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network.
Super Media Bros.
Attendance by 6,500 fans, the lowest of any event for this pay-per-view.
Oh, damn.
And the promos for this thing featured nothing but Hulk Hogan. And he didn't even...
Did it really?
Yep, and he didn't even headline.
No, he wasn't the headliner or the opener. Like, he was smack dab in the middle, damn near.
Yep. Welcome to episode 279 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
We are jumping back into our 30-year Time Machine series with WWF King of the Ring 1993. Holy shit. The inaugural King of the Ring pay-per-view, not the first King of the Ring tournament, but the first one to be done on pay-per-view from the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio. So, as we mentioned in the opener, the promo material was almost nothing but Hulk Hogan.
So weird.
They're like, hey, King of the Ring tournament, here's Hulk Hogan. It's like, who? Okay.
And it's not even like he was doing heavy promo material throughout every other segment. Like, even then, at that point, it's like, you didn't main event, but you were probably the star that got the most screen time.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming in to defend the WWF Championship against Yokozuna, who he won it from at WrestleMania 9. If you would, go to our other 30-year Time Machine episodes,
Shameless plug.
Yeah, for sure. It's Royal Rumble, and then WrestleMania 9, and then King of the Ring. Now, if you have Spotify or anything other than Apple Podcasts and you're listening to this, you can see prominently featured is Bret Hitman Hart because it's Bret Hart. Fuck Hulk Hogan. So Hulk, like, there's some reasonings behind Bret in this tournament and then Hulk Hogan in his match that we'll get to as we truck along. But typically the King of the Ring in later years was thought to be more of like a push. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever won it like got a major push like forward or whatever.
Right, because it's always been unclear as to what the King of the Ring is. Royal Rumble, the result of that is pretty cut and dry. Money in the Bank, same thing. You understand why this is a severe match.
Yeah.
With dire costs.
Yeah.
King of the Ring, it's a thing, and it exists, and it's bragging rights, and yeah.
Yeah, and this was back whenever they would put the whole tournament on pay-per-view.
Right.
Like they would do qualifying matches on Raw, and then they would get, put on the tournament in the pay-per-view.
And it's such a cool concept too. It's just, like I said, what is the result?
That's kind of how I feel about the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
Yeah. The only saving grace to it is, as of right now, MJF has been the only victor of it, and he uses it in a storyline purpose.
Right, and it's like technically a defendable item.
Right.
Whereas the King of the Ring was not. And again, we'll get into the pay-per-view, like the actual matches shortly, but like just to kind of spitball on this a little. I feel like the King of the Ring tournament would have been a little more high stakes if, like, say, if you're King of the Ring, you could have, like, I don't know, maybe it gives you, hey, I can have any title match I want at any point in time. It doesn't matter if I lose as many times as it, takes me to fucking win it. I can just do it. And maybe the crown is something you defend every year. You have to go back to the tournament and win it all over again to fucking claim it. Like, how fucking cool would that be?
That'd be a lot better. And what a good modern take, because I know a lot of people of this generation wanted to make a comeback. I know it did, but like it was Xavier. It was, correct me if I'm wrong, but Baron Corbin won it at one point.
Yeah.
Did he not? Yeah.
Sheamus won it at one point too.
Yeah. But I'm talking like in the last like 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those two, but it's like, dude, bring it back, make it consistent, and like make it a thing.
Right? Like there are a few people that won the King of the Ring over the years that they benefited greatly from it.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I mean,
King
Brett,
Booker.
right. Like, Brett didn't really need it, but like, again, we'll get into why he was in this. But then, like, Owen Hart, like, fucking shot through the roof. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, obviously, like, it didn't necessarily.
Austin.
Yeah. Oh God, Steve Austin is probably the biggest star other than Brett in this tournament. That, like, you know, and obviously Hunter, but
Yeah. And like, nobody ever talks about the aftermath of Steve Austin having the King of the Ring. But everybody knows, like, hey, Steve Austin winning the King of the Ring was a big deal because of the promo.
sure.
Yeah, anything post that, I have no clue.
Yeah, and then you've got people like Mabel, who won the 1995 tournament
Fuck.
that they didn't do fuck all with.
Yeah, I mean,
He kind of fucking ruined his shit though, because he fucked up a lot with Diesel, like, in their feud. So like that kind of had something to do with his push getting nixed or whatever. But that's beside the point.
yeah, I mean, Vince has always been weird about tournaments.
Sure. He's always back and forth with him. Like, he likes him one minute, then he hates him the next minute. But getting into the pay-per-view itself, the dark match for this, it was really strange. It was a dark match for the USWA World Heavyweight Championship. And it was fucking Papa Shango, who was the champion, versus Owen Hart, who lost. Boy, oh boy, Owen Hart going from dark match to winning the fucking thing the following year. That's some poetry in motion there.
You know what, though? Sami Zayn basically jobbing to Johnny Knoxville one WrestleMania.
And then headlining it next year.
Yeah, like,
Wow.
to be fair.
True. But getting into the actual King of the Ring tournament, you have Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, Mr. Hughes, who is just giant Ray Charles, Jim Duggan, Bam Bam Bigelow, Tatanka, Lex Luger. They kick it off with Bret versus Razor Ramon in, like, I'm just going to say this right out the gate. All of Bret's matches on this card were fantastic,
Yeah.
but it's Bret Hart. And the people that he worked with were fucking great too. So the match he had with Razor Ramon was, I thought it was better than their Rumble match.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was better than their fucking championship match from the Rumble. I know that's a hot take because that's a good match itself.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, I mean, I didn't exactly watch it with, like, that in mind. I wasn't comparing, but I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I look at a lot of matches that Bret's had with certain people over the years. Like, I'll tell you right now, it's a toss-up with him and Perfect on this in their SummerSlam match, but Bret wins against Razor Ramon, and a fun fact that Bret didn't win any of the matches that he participated in with his fucking sharpshooter because he was told not to do it.
Now, I know how he worked it into the storyline, but backstage,
I don't know. I don't know why that decision was made, but I will admit that I feel like it probably was done to make it not formulaic and to make it unpredictable.
I feel, and this is just me assuming, whenever I see somebody tap out, I, in my brain, think of it as you, as the opponent, when you tap out, you are saying, I'm a bitch.
You have to understand that tap outs were not a thing then.
That's true. That is true.
This is them either shaking their head yes or yelling, yes, I give up.
Same concept, though. The same rules apply to what I'm saying.
It's not visual, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know. I just feel like...
Dude, it was acceptable to lose to a submission back then, though.
Okay, so this is just my generation.
This is your age showing.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I liked that it didn't happen, though, because it did keep it kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
Bret beats Razor in a 10-minute and 25-second match, and he moves on to the semifinals. And he's going to meet the winner of Mr. Perfect versus Mr. Hughes with Harvey Whippleman. This match was, it is what it is. More or less, Mr. Hughes, like, they did a video package where he beat the fuck out of Undertaker and Paul Bearer with their urn. And
okay.
Exactly. Like, what does that have to do with this tournament? Like, that's the thing about the video packages from, like, these pay-per-views that blows my mind. They would put shit that didn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's just...
I guess just to promote the stars, I guess.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, you show Mr. Perfect, like, oh, fuck yeah, he's in there. And then Vince is like, what do we got for Hughes? Oh, sorry, we don't really have anything. He doesn't really do a bunch for us. God damn, we got to find something. We haven't beaten that Percy Pringle bitch up. Once you pop, you can't stop.
God damn, dude. fuck.
But
Did somebody hurt you today?
no, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
McMahon used this video to show Mr. Hughes, and I'm assuming just to be like, oh, he's a formidable opponent to deal with. Like, how's Mr. Perfect going to beat him if he just beat the fuck out of the Undertaker? He did it in 6 minutes and 2 seconds is what he fucking did, but it was by disqualification because Mr. Hughes actually still has the urn, and he clobbered him over the fucking head with it.
It was what it was, I guess. I mean,
it's like, is Mr. Hughes there just to fuck with people? Like, did he really give a fuck about winning?
I don't know, because, like, that's always been the big issue with, like, monster heels, though, is, like, how do you build them but then beat them? And it's the problem with throwing in certain people in tournaments.
Yeah.
Because I've always done, like, you know, we as wrestling fans always do fantasy booking and everything, and it's like, oh, yeah, we'll throw in Mark Henry. And it's like, okay, but you realize that you want, I don't know, Daniel Bryan to win. How does Daniel Bryan tap him out or pin him? It's like,
right? Because Hall of Pain was fucking goated, dude.
Dude, look, as a kid, Orton was my guy.
Sure.
You know, so, dude, that whole era where he was beating Orton clean and all this other shit, I was like, fuck you, Mark Henry, you motherfucker.
Devin's wearing Randy Orton hat right now.
Yeah, dude, like, it's ride or die. I love Randy Orton, but looking at it now, and even then I thought it was cool, but obviously because of the storyline, I was an Orton kid, you know.
Right.
But no, Mark Henry I miss that man in the ring.
Same. So Mr. Perfect advances to wrestle Bret Hart in a semifinals match coming up later in the pay-per-view. Bam Bam Bigelow and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Now, Bam Bam Bigelow
was a little racist towards
Tatanka. God, like it later on. Yeah. I mean, he was, look, okay. Bam Bam Bigelow was less racist than Bobby Heenan on this thing. I'm going to tell you right fucking now.
It was like every other word.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now. Jim Ross has never been more white. Bobby Heenan has never been more racisty. And Macho Man Randy Savage has never been more blown out of his head on cocaine in his life. This was like the fucking like
unbelievable,
dude. Oh my god, this was probably like it was one of the only times they were a team of like this exact team did commentary. WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
Now there's a reason why, and I think this pay-per-view is why. Because, dude, Savage was moving at an unbelievable rate at the ringside table. Just like they would put the camera on him, and he's just moving back and forth, like just
man was coked out of his mind.
My man's had his shit taped up. His fucking fists were taped like he was like that man.
He was ready for the smoke.
He lived in wrestling attire, and it was the best shit ever. That man did not wrestle for over a year on WWE television, and he wore his boots to the fucking ring. That man came out ready to sell Slim Jims and beat the fuck out of somebody, but he didn't.
That's actually, you know what? I respect the grind.
Right, dude? He's just like, you know what? I gotta show up in character. I gotta put all my... I didn't get all this shit made for nothing. I
gotta protect the kayfabe, man.
God, Jesus, damn it. He ain't wrong. Bam Bam Bigelow beats Jim Duggan in the shortest match on the card, 4 minutes and 59 seconds.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, and then we move on to this. This is kind of a staple of the King of the Ring, I feel like. There's got to be like one match that goes to a time limit. Tatanka and Lex Luger, which it's strange because this rivalry kind of goes until like SummerSlam 94 and beyond. Like,
oh, damn.
So we're literally, and I'm not even shitting you, we are 2 months because we're going to come back and talk about SummerSlam 93.
Okay.
We're literally 2 months from Lex Luger versus Yokozuna, and Lex Luger is not even doing the narcissist gimmick anymore, which he's doing here. We are not very far from the Lex Express gimmick.
What?
Yeah, okay, so...
I thought that was like... Now, this is just coming from somebody who, at this point, was not even born yet for another 3 years, okay? But I would have thought, like, the narcissist and all that other stuff was, like, years apart. What?
Yeah. Okay, so, like, Luger and Tatanka go to a 15-minute draw, which this match was pretty fucking good, honestly. For a Lex Luger match, it was pretty goddamn good. Yeah. Getting away from the match itself, because, I mean, like, there's nothing to say. Nobody won, so whatever. Fucking Luger drops the narcissist gimmick and gets fucking repackaged as this all-American guy going after Yokozuna on the USS Intrepid because there's like a body slam competition. Yeah, Lex Luger body slams Yokozuna on the boat.
Knew that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's funny because he's on this bus called the Lex Express and he's just traveling around the country getting him over as like a babyface. And they're essentially giving Lex Luger what Hulk Hogan would have still been doing.
Yeah, I remember everybody always talks about how shit Lex Luger was. You know?
Right. And because of this match, Bam Bam just gets an automatic bye to the finals. So he just pops up, like they hit the head graphics that pop up, and he's like, yeah, I want the Indian in the match. And I'm just like, fuck, dude.
And that's the thing, dude, is like you said, like they just talked differently back then. And really, I feel like my generation was probably the last one because I even remember
like shit like that, like terminology getting tossed around like that, right?
Like I remember it, no bullshit, no, legitimately, it was probably like late middle school, early high school, whenever like the quote unquote woke people started saying, they were Native American. They're not Indians.
And I know you were just sitting like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like,
because it was a learning a thing, and you were just like, wait, excuse me?
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean?
Right, because like that's too totally fucking like.
Right, but then once it was explained, are they from India? No, they're not. Wait,
that's when your little mind was.
Yeah, and I was like, y'all kind of fucked up for this.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like we knew that they were not Indians. But we still call them that.
Yeah, it's fucked.
For decades.
Yeah, and fucking Bam Bam Bigelow, male gigolo fucking had
fuck.
had everything to do with it. So this motherfucker gets away with calling Tatanka that and goes to the finals. Like, you fuck ass. Then we move on to what for me is one of the matches of the night, and that's Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect in a semifinal match to see like who goes to that match. And it's fucking wild. Again, another hot take. This was probably the best wrestled match of the night between the three Bret matches that he has. And fucking dude, it's right up there with their SummerSlam match from 1991. God damn, what a classic.
Oh gosh. Oh man, which one?
The Intercontinental title match.
No. I'm saying like,
which one's better?
Yeah.
That's a fucking hell of a toss-up because, I mean, you got to think the semifinal matches had 30-minute time limits, okay? So they wrestled almost a 20-minute match here, and it's Bret and Kurt Hennig, dude.
You can't go wrong.
No, these were these were two of the best fucking professional wrestlers in this era, bar none. I don't give a fuck. Like, there's a reason that they called him Mr. Perfect in the WWF. Yeah. And there's a reason that Bret was the excellence of execution.
As much as I love Shawn, I do put Kurt a little above him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, WWE loves to repaint history and say that Shawn was the end-all, be-all, but...
Nope. Sorry, that's not the truth. And Shawn is great. And I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying that man didn't have, like, banger-ass matches with some of the highest talent like caliber that has come through this company.
He's in the conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. Bret and Kurt have had just as many, if not more.
I feel like Bret was more consistent and Bret took it more seriously. He definitely took it more seriously.
Bret was the pro wrestler.
Yeah. If
you wanted a dude that kept kayfabe like pretty damn well alive and was convincing in the ring with his movements, his action. Everything that man did meant something in the ring when he did it.
Exactly.
There was never a wasted move from him. Fucking 18 minutes and 56 seconds, Bret wins with a pinfall, like a roll-up reversal, and God, what a fucking match. And if you want, right here, we can take a break, and then we'll come back for the back half of the pay-per-view, because basically every match after this, which we've been mostly talking King of the Ring quarterfinals and semifinals, now we're getting into the championships that are being defended, a piss break match, and then the main event, which is for the King of the Ring. And you're going to be very surprised at what match actually opens this next set of matches when we come back.
It threw me for a loop.
Yeah. You're listening to the Super Media Bros on the OddPods Media Network. Don't go anywhere. If you haven't heard already, it's Smooth Sack Summer. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure that you're scaped from pubes to bum. That's right. This is the summer to keep your balls cool while still looking hot with Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming are making sure that we all have a ball this summer by giving our pants partners everything they need to stay fresh. Dive headfirst into Smooth Sack Summer by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything that you need to prepare your summer bod, including their Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer. It features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. Did I mention the trimmer's waterproof too? Beach, lake, or shower, the razor's going to devour even the strongest of pubes. And now that you have the perfect haircut, use Manscaped's liquid formulations to keep that freshness even at the hottest summer barbecues. Most importantly, use the Crop Preserver ball deodorant to stay cool in the heat. It's got a soothing aloe vera formula, and it's the best in the business for below-the-waist freshness. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to this Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. And look, if you're wearing sandals with some nasty toenails during the summer months, you need to take a look at the Shears 2.0. It's a luxury nail grooming kit. This kit includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. With the Performance Package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure that you cover the rest with the Shears 2.0. Get 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. That's right, 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with the code SUPER at manscaped.com. It's Smooth Sack Summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
Hey, this is Grabbing Brisket Podcast. Join us every Monday where we talk about the latest trends in barbecue, interviews with world top pitmasters, celebrity cooks,
Ooh, like Wee Man from Jackass.
and musicians.
Like Rich O'Toole?
So check us out. We do beer reviews, barbecue fails.
So many fires.
Dude, a lot of people just burn their houses down for no reason.
We also talk about cocaine hippos versus Beth Gators,
Learn how to make some tailgate gravy.
altercations with Texas Rangers.
People throwing Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, so check out grabthebrisket.com for podcast info, viral social media posts, and so much more.
Are you ready to be a real American, Devin?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so the fucking back half of this pay-per-view, match number 7 out of 10 matches, including the dark match, match number 7 is Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna for the WWF Championship. Bro.
When this started, I was like, oh, damn, the main event. Wait, but who's the king of the ring?
Exactly. That's why I kind of think it's a little humorous because Hulk Hogan notoriously ducked out of / bitched out of wrestling Brett for the championship at SummerSlam. Hulk Hogan was supposed to defend the belt and drop it to Brett at SummerSlam. That never happened. On one side of the conversation, Hulk Hogan's like, well, that was Vince McMahon's call. And on the other side of the conversation, it was, no, that was Hulk Hogan's creative control clause coming into play because the man still had it even then. Because he was like, he basically was just like, it's not believable for somebody like Brett to beat me. And I'm just like, dude, it's not believable for you to beat a fucking 550-pound Japanese Samoan wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, dude.
Like,
it wasn't believable for you to beat Andre the Giant. I'm sorry.
well, not even just that, but Brett just beat Razor. I mean, like,
Yeah. Bret Hart beat a very tall, quick, brute powerhouse. Bret Hart beat somebody that was his equal, if not better than him in the fucking ring. And Bret is going to go on to have a match with a fucking heavy for the fucking crown. Literally.
What was Hulk saying? Like, I don't.
Hulk was saying, that don't work for me, brother. Exactly.
He just didn't want to take the pin.
No, and even in this match, okay?
It wasn't even a clean loss.
No, that's exactly what I was getting at, dude. Because when he beat Yoko at WrestleMania, it was just a quick fucking, like, I'm going to run in the ring, clothesline you, leg drop you, fucking pin you. Fuck you. This match was like fucking 12 minutes longer than it probably should have been. Yokozuna wins, but only when, you know, the photographers at ringside, for the only match that this happens in, we're just there at ringside. One of them jumps on the apron, like, let me get a picture of you, Hulk. And the camera, quote, explodes and shoots a flame, like, right in Hogan's face.
I'm a wizard.
And here, you know what the best part about this, though, is? He fucking gets it. He gets a belly-to-belly suplex. Yoko drops the leg for the win. Yoko uses Hogan's move to win. After the match, he gets bonsai dropped, and then, like, I can't remember if it was Jim or Bobby that's like, Hulkamania is dead. It's been squashed. I swear to God, there are children holding those Hulk Hogan wrestling buddies, crying in the crowd. And I'm just like rubbing my hands like, yes, fuck you. I fucking hated it. I fucking hate Hulkamania. You know, I'm just sitting here like, die.
How was it at the time for you? Like as a kid, how'd you feel?
Honestly, dude, as much as I grew up seeing Hogan everywhere, I didn't even see Hogan first in a wrestling ring. Like whenever I was a kid,
Really?
Hogan, yeah, because Hogan is and was that big of a megastar. Like you have people like Steve Austin and The Rock and Hulk Hogan and John Cena even that they transcend wrestling.
Right.
So the first time I watched Hogan in a wrestling match, I was like, okay, this is what he fucking does. Okay, so. Seeing this, I was always used to just seeing him on the TV and just, doing his fucking thing. I didn't realize at the time how big of a deal it was that he fucking lost, because this was his last match in the company before the No Way Out.
Years.
Yeah, until No Way Out 2002 when he comes back with the NWO. So seeing Hogan lose as a kid, I was like, okay. I mean, this guy won the Rumble. Like, looking at Yoko, I was like, okay, this guy won the fucking Royal Rumble and he fucking beat Brett at WrestleMania. I mean, I'm not surprised he beat Hogan. Like, I bought into the fact that this big motherfucker was just going to run ass everywhere. And even then, I was like, okay, because I was still tape renting at the time because I was fucking 7, So I'm sitting there like, okay, so where does he go? It was just like, where the fuck does he go? And he wasn't around after that. I was like, okay, so he eventually pops up on a WCW VHS where I'm renting pay-per-views because I'm not renting them on TV. I'm renting them from the stores and keeping up and just kind of doing homework on my own and just building my own, Okay, here's what's happening. I have to fucking put puzzle pieces together because I watched a lot of these things out of order and I had to be like, oh, this came before this and this came well before the internet days, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
So seeing this motherfucker on a Bash at the Beach VHS, I was like, why is he wrestling with this company? I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Who the fuck is this? Just as a kid, I'm like, well, what the fuck? And then I found out, I was like, oh, this used to be NWA and now it's a different, okay.
See, meanwhile, I was just like, no, it's wrestling.
No, it's for sure. But I was just like,
in my mind, because you got to realize, by the time I was old enough to really process it all different logos and everything, I legitimately thought that it was all the same company, just spin-offs.
Oh God, yeah, like little subsidiaries and shit.
Yeah, I thought, well, if there's Raw and SmackDown, then I guess Nitro's just another one.
Right. Not to side quest too much on this, because obviously Yoko wins and he moves on and does different feuds or whatever. But dude, oh my fucking God, so I remember seeing the Bash at the Beach thing, and it was one of the first times that I had seen, that I can remember. Because, I watched NWA and stuff like that, the VHSs or whatever. But I remember seeing WCW, the ring, and seeing the bright blue and yellow turnbuckle pads and the black ring ropes and hearing how the mats sounded different. Because that's one thing I wanted to point out about the ring in this pay-per-view. And a lot of the times in the mid 90s, Vince had that ring sounding like a fucking shotgun.
I know.
Those dudes sounded like they were getting killed on that canvas. And then to hear years later, they were like, yeah, Vince had that ring stiffer than a fucking board.
Yeah. It didn't get changed until coincidentally he started taking bumps.
Yeah. Fucker.
He was like, well, goddamn.
Well, that kind of hurts.
I'll take years off your career. It's less money for me.
Yeah, God damn, I gotta extend these guys somehow. Getting back to the rings and stuff, seeing on the turnbuckle pads and all this shit, I was like, oh my God, the colors are so fucking bright, and it looked different. The ring sounded different. Yeah, Vince was killing his guys in that fucking ring. It was unbelievable. Why would you do that? What the fuck? But it made for great sounds. So, it sounded like these guys were just getting killed, which they actually were, but you know what I'm saying. So, moving on to the next match, it's the Steiner Brothers and the Smoking Guns versus Money Incorporated and the Head Shrinkers in the 8-man tag team piss yourself match, because I would have gone to the bathroom for this fucking match. Who gives a fuck?
The fact that this went on after Hulk Hogan.
I'm telling you, dude.
So confused.
Steiners and Guns win in less than 7 minutes. This was a fuck all match. Who gives a shit? Moving on to the Intercontinental title match, which it's wild that this went on second to last after the World Championship. It was Shawn Michaels versus Crush. It's a Shawn Michaels match, man. I mean, it was good.
And they had good chemistry. Like, I wouldn't call it match of the night, but
No, but it was good.
yeah, dude, it was absolutely serviceable.
Shawn and Brett seem to just work really well with big dudes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've put that together over the years, like, and I mean that for like a lot of you out there listening, but I mean, Shawn wins this because Crush gets distracted by the two doinks kind of carrying over the feud from WrestleMania and like beyond. Shawn uses the super kick to the back of the head and knocks Crush into the ring turnbuckle and pins him after that. And I was like, all right, cool. That works.
Back at the head spot is pretty fucking sick.
Shawn wins this match in 11 minutes and 14 seconds. Definitely a good, solid, like semi-main event. Now, your main event of the evening is the King of the Ring finals match, and it's Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow. This is my second match of the night, honestly.
Yeah.
Bam Bam was one of the best big men in the business, bar none. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. To me, in that category includes Yokozuna, Bam Bam Bigelow, Big Van Vader. Like those are.
Say you got to throw Vader in there. Man.
Yeah, dude, Vader. If not Bam Bam, and I say Bam Bam because I know you have, and I'm talking to anybody that's listening out there. If you've ever actually seen Bam Bam Bigelow move in a ring, goddamn, watch his shit from like the later 80s. Watch his shit like during this era. Hell, watch his ECW run.
Yeah.
The fuck, nobody was doing what that guy was fucking doing.
Dude, and then Vader, like, nowadays, you know, it's so commonplace to see big men doing, like, tope suicidas and moonsaults and, you know, twist of fates, all that shit, swanton bombs, shit like that. Back then, you see one big man even do a drop kick, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and not just that. Bam Bam was doing, like, fucking forward tumble rolls in the ring and just launching back up onto his feet and off of his feet. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, I would run from this man. Do you hear me? Like, fuck that shit.
Now, do you think that, like, and this is not to discredit any of them, but do you think that all of the big men back then could do that, but they didn't to, number one, add longevity to their careers, but also give the smaller people something to be unique with? Or do you think, like, as time has gone on, they've just been training differently?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think you had certain people that could do it, and then you had people that couldn't do it, and then you had like people that so did it. Vader was one of those people that so did it.
Right.
His claim was being able to do a moonsault.
Yeah, which was fucking
real. Dude, I do not even want to imagine a 420 to 470 pound guy fucking backflipping onto my stupid face off the top rope.
And it's not the fact that he was doing it, it's the fact that he did it gracefully.
My favorite Vader moonsaults were the ones where they weren't perfect looking, where he kind of threw his arms out too, where he was just like, oh dude, that whole fucking back end's about to just, fucking squish you. But like Bam Bam, his finisher was the headbutt off the top rope. So that was devastating as fuck looking, because it's just this big, bald, burly motherfucker just crash landing on you. Versus Bret Hart, who was 5'10", and his finisher is a fucking sharpshooter. I always thought people that had finishing maneuvers that were submissions, I was like, how the fuck are they going to beat this guy? I used to always like have that in my head, like, they have to use their submission. They can't pin him. You know, I don't know why I thought that, but, you know, turns out Bret and Bam Bam have hella chemistry. I love the fact that Bret threw a couple of, like, side suplexes in there to get out of headlocks and shit, and that fucking popped the crowd, because Bobby Heenan was selling it like a motherfucker on commentary. Like, where is Bret getting this energy? He just picked this man up in a fucking pay-per-view. This is another funny fucking thing. So this is probably a consolation prize for Bret not getting that championship match at SummerSlam.
I wish I wasn't thinking about it like that, but yeah.
Bret Hart got to throw a big guy around. Hulk Hogan couldn't even body slam Yokozuna.
Fuck!
You fucking 24, like, I swear to God, his 24-inch pythons are like deflated by this point, because it was during that era where like the steroid trial was going on with Vince and everything, so everybody was like kind of backing off the juice. Like Macho Man started wearing a shirt because his muscles were shrinking. Hulk Hogan wore longer tights and tanks during interviews because his muscles were shrinking.
But Hulk Hogan still had a 10-inch penis, apparently. That is still the funniest shit, him explaining the difference between Terry Bollea
and Hulk Hogan. Wait, tell me this. What did I miss?
You never saw that?
I don't know.
It was
Refresh my
during the trial.
No.
He had to explain to the judge in court, and he was like, I do not have a 10-inch penis, but the character of Hulk Hogan does.
Wait, did he fucking say that? No! Oh my god! Oh!
I cannot believe you didn't know that!
Fuck, dude. No, it's not even like, oh my god. Like, I knew he was on the stand and shit, but oh my fucking god.
It got brought up.
Oh my god, I just realized why it got brought up too.
Because of the steroids.
Yes, holy shit. He probably got finished with that trial and fucking had to like he fucking squeaked by knowing that he kind of convinced him that he doesn't use fucking steroids, knowing full fucking well that he does. Looks down at his own dick and goes, well, that don't work for me, brother.
That's so fucking fire. Oh my god.
Fuck, dude, I gotta find this. I can't believe I never fucking knew that. Oh, yeah, shit, man. The more you put the fucking more you know, like, thing right here. Shit. God damn it. I love learning new factoids. Fuck me. That's great. Brett wins the King of the Ring tournament with a fucking roll up on Bam Bam in an 18-minute and 11-second match. Goddamn, what a contest. Brett goes to the podium. Mean Gene Okerlund's there to coordinate him and everything. Out comes Jerry the King Lawler, who had just debuted with the company not very long ago, and beats the shit. I'm not thinking like he beats the shit out of Brett. I mean, I'm talking, man, Lawler went on fucking demon time in this bitch.
Yeah, dude. Like, whenever he threw the actual throne,
bro,
you know, like you picture that in your head, and it's like, oh, well, it's wrestling, so it's gonna like break apart, and you know, it's still gonna hurt a little, but it broke apart on impact, so you're good. No, that was an actual chair.
Brett fucking said,
oh
my man hit the ground so goddamn hard.
The fact that it hit him so stiffly.
I know, and it was like a thud. It was like a very dull thud. And when we say like a throne, this had arms on it. It wasn't like just a seat. Like, imagine that arm falling in the wrong spot and the corner just driving into his back. He breaks his back. What if Lawler ended Brett right there instead of fucking Goldberg?
Now, would the backlash with Lawler, would it be as, you know what I mean?
Probably, dude. I don't know. But
because, like, even though growing up, I was a huge mark for Goldberg, but, like, so I'm defensive of him, even though I'm also a mark for Brett. It's like, the wrestling community as a whole is like kind of a mark for Jerry Lawler. So it's like, how do they react?
Imagine Bret Hart doing a shoot interview like way after this, being like, let me tell you about that piece of shit, Jerry the King Lawler.
You never had a match that was more than a 4 out of 10.
He's never been WWF champion, and there's a reason. You know, he's just like fucking being a dick about it.
Just burying his ass.
I fucking love Bret.
Dude.
Brett was right about everything.
Except for the Triple H and Undertaker match of Mania. I will say, like, that was a good match.
It was aight.
No, it was more than a 4 out of 10. Fuck you.
It was aight.
Bro, that interview, though, cracked me up because my man's Brett was, like, probably 2-3 minutes into the interview, and then he's like, oh, hold on, give me a second. Pulls out his iPhone from his leather jacket and just... Sorry, I had to answer that. And he puts it back. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Brett doesn't give a fuck, dude. That's why I like him. He don't give a fuck. But yeah, Brett wins his tournament, and the pay-per-view goes off the air with Lawler choking the fuck out of Brett with a scepter. And again, that ignites their years-long feud, and one of the best feuds in pro wrestling, honestly, because, like, you know how you just have people that are naturally good, you know, face versus heel kind of rivalries or whatever. Like that, Jerry and Brett had some really, I know, granted they played Lawler like a chicken shit, but I still thought they had pretty good chemistry together. The next one coming up is SummerSlam from 1993. And this one was in Auburn Hills, Michigan at the Palace of Auburn Hills. And it had an attendance of 23,954 people. But this one, and this is a reason I can't wait to fucking talk about it. This is regarded as probably the worst SummerSlam.
Oh, dear God, and you're putting me through this. Okay.
Dude, 1993 was a very hit or miss year for the company. I feel like Survivor Series was so, but like, god damn. I can't wait to get into 1994 because I'll tell you right now, 1994 had a hell of a fucking year for the WWF's pay-per-views.
Okay.
So we're going to just put a pin in it right here and we'll come back whenever SummerSlam rolls around in August.
Okay, bet.
Yeah. Well, until then, visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes. Check out all the other shows on the OddPods Media Network by visiting oddpodsmedia.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter and other social media platforms. Go leave us a rating and review at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, and GoodPods. Buy a t-shirt from the merch store. Like Hulk Hogan in the 1993 King of the Ring pay-per-view, the Hulkamania Brothermania t-shirt in our merch store is not going to fucking be lasting very long. In fact, it's going to be leaving in August. It's going to be staying 2 months longer than Hogan did in the year of 1993. So go get it while you still can. And maybe we'll think about putting it out next summer.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us this week. That was the 1993 King of the Ring from the World Wrestling Federation, episode 279. Until next time, I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
Shades on.
We're off.